Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to Opus Magnum. Let's hop in. So it says, I've got an idea for a new weapon, something simple that even the house staff can use. The staff, those who haven't been bestowed a sword, certainly shouldn't be given any other weapons. But what if House of Colvin doesn't stand down? What if our soldiers can't hold the line against them? You're being foolish. A message will arrive any moment now. You keep saying that, and yet, besides, if there's fighting indoors, the danger of the property would be extremely unfortunate. If Colvin breached the perimeter, won't the consequences be much worse? At this point, I'm starting to wonder if perhaps the soldier is not even trying to win, and he is actively trying to, like, wreck. He's working against the house. So now we've got this glyph of triple bonding, and yeah, we needed a new thing added probably about 5 puzzles ago. The glyph of triple bonding creates 3 separate types of bonds between fire items. Why specifically fire items? I don't know. When overlaid, it becomes a triple bond. So you have regular gray bond, a red bond, and the orange bond. What does that really mean to anything? Like, why would bonding even be a thing in general? It feels like you're trying to kind of imply almost like a triple helix DNA concept. Humans have double helix. I don't know if anything actually has a triple helix or if that's just science fiction. But as far as alchemy and chemical, like atomic bonds, I mean, you could have like weak bonds in which electrons on an outer shell of an atom are holding things together some weakly, or you could have stronger bonds at which electrons in more inner shells of an atom are being shared and holding it together. But there tends not to really be much of a difference between something with a weak bond and a strong bond. It's still the same atom. It would just be I forget the word for them when it has a different kind of bond. It kind of radioactive. The weaker bonds, that they fall apart. They have half-lives and decay quicker. That's about all the difference, though. It's not a different atom, really. It might have slightly different products. And if alchemy is not anything like atoms, which it seems like it's getting further and further away from being anything like atoms, then I need an explanation here. And it doesn't seem to me like you really are going to get much of an explanation. It's just more of a demand. You've got to have a stronger bond. Which, okay. The question certainly will come down to, is this in any way going to be faster or more efficient, or are you just gonna have to make a whole mess of this? I think you're gonna have to just make a whole mess of this. One thing I feel like I'm experiencing while trying to cover this game, is that the fact that generally in programming you can just use your preferred language, or at least you can mostly use your preferred language, whereas this one, it doesn't quite feel like that's the case. Like, this feels much more akin to something like having to program for a very specific piece of equipment, like an embedded piece of hardware, and because of that you're using this very different language, and that significantly decreases my interest as far as actually wanting to like learn this language or learn this programming. Well, I do see a slight benefit here, but since this only works with fire, then we would then have to cycle this through that and basically have that. And then that means we would need to replace this with that. Nope. Because if we're gonna pull it back, it can't be there. This is gonna be kind of ridiculous. There's an interesting question as to whether picking up this and rotating this and then say resetting is as fast as picking up this one and then rotating the other way and then resetting. Does this all happen in the same step because you're moving twice the distance as this is? Yes, it moves faster. Okay. So now the next step would be to not have this rotate and instead have it bond. I actually maybe have this one bond, have this one let go, and then stupidly undo it. So then this one could then pick it up again and have it bond. And then at that point, I think you could just retract. Well, actually, if we don't want to use that space, let's not retract yet. Let's untwist. Trying to use the least amount of space here. Just rotated it the wrong way. But oddly, this grabbed the wrong thing too late. And even that's probably not. Yeah. Yeah, we're having to leave quite a bit of room here. So in an effort to save room, we're still using what I feel like is going to be a ridiculous amount of room. But maybe we could put this here, But I don't know if I was gonna put that there, then I don't know how you would get that. So let's find the solution first before we goof around too much. Pick up that, rotate that, and then I think we can just rotate again and rotate again. And just let go. And it crashes into that. Which, that doesn't ruin the thought, it just means I need to swap that one piece over out of the way. This rotates too much. It needs a reset. And this one also needs to be a reset. No, it didn't rotate too much. What went wrong there? Why did that not count? It gives you a triple bond. It gives you a silver bond. Oh! Seemingly, this piece is still necessary. This creates apparently some kind of different bond compared to the other bonds. Which I would argue it does not feel like that is really true. And here I thought I was being clever and and that pretty much undoes a lot of the need then. Yeah. So 3, let's just start completely over because we're going to have to put in a considerable amount of different code there. Rotate. Drop. I don't think it's really worth dropping there. Gotta rotate the right way. Let's go ahead and put this just completely out of the way. We're probably going to get rid of that code. Then I guess I just have to wait 1. This isn't gonna work. There's too much in the way. There's no way you're gonna get this to get out of the way and hit it. This needs to be here. Yeah, this is... This is different, but I don't know if this is really better. And see, if I could just rotate this now, and this bond was the same as this bond, I'd be very happy with that. But instead, I think I have to do quite a bit to get it back into place. Just put all this code way over here for a second. I wish you could rotate and pivot at the same time. That's another thing that you would just kind of assume a CNC controller could do, is instead of just moving in these very cardinal directions, just move in a more complex flow motion. See, again, I just want to test this out again and see if something is wrong here, because that to me feels like it's right. So why does that not work? Okay. Is there possibly, if we've got to use this, which it looks like we've got to use this, maybe it breaks the bond in some way, or maybe the game just does not recognize that that should work. Right. I'm gonna grab this one, and then I'm going to potentially rotate this to this point. Again, I think we're just trying to use the least amount of square footage, the least amount of area. Grab it, and then we're gonna go back 2 places and then reset and see how that works. Okay. If that rotated that much and we replace that with that, could we then extend and pivot one more time? Don't need that. Probably don't need that. So that's the solution. Now I guess the question would be, can we reduce we can immediately get rid of this, and that reduces that out. Yeah, I just kind of feel like there's got to be some way in which you don't have it pivot this way and it takes up a little less space. Let's just see this initial intro. Like, as far as cost, we could get the cost down a little bit. As far as area, we could get the area down. As far as number of cycles, we could get the number of cycles down. Alright, so how would we get rid of cost? The way you would get rid of cost is you would simply add a bunch more code, so you're just grabbing this one piece. And in all fairness, getting rid of that one piece here also changes the amount of area you use, and it would be fairly easy to then use this. You would have to stagger this somewhat. I don't know if that's enough to stagger. But you would pretty much have to also change your entirety of your focus. And change all this code. You'd have to grab it and then retract instead of pivot, or instead of spinning. And then that's not necessary. And then pivot doesn't happen. Just gotta put the right pivot. Put there. Geez, why is that pivot both directions wrong? Probably because the pivot needs to happen later. There. And see. There's no way at that point, though, you get it where it doesn't just swing into this spot. Like, yeah. For this result, it will just go here. And see, if you had a more complex arm, something that could, for every 1 degree of movement forward, also turn a degree of rotation, so that this would literally, the center of this marble would stay in the same place. You could do that, or get at least really close to it, but what just happened there? Why did that work? Like, I picked up a piece here, and there should be a marble that replaces that as soon as it is gone. There's a marble here, yeah? So, apparently you can put marbles on the holes if you get the timing just perfectly, and maybe only if you pivot onto something. And then if there is something on the hole, then you can use that to your advantage, which that definitely is going to change how things would work. I don't think it really should work that way. that way. And then needs just another pivot. And then a rotation. And I guess we could see if that would still work. I guess the answer is probably no. But there probably is. Instead of this pivoting, if it rotated, like ideally what you'd want is you'd want the solution to be here. Which certainly could work. But if it was gonna work that way, like this point, could we make a merge here and there? Probably have a more efficient process there, certainly. If you, for instance, had the I don't even know, really. What if the match was here? What if the entirety of the match was there? This could extend one more. And then the solution could be in between. Yeah, again, we're just wasting a lot of energy and time. Lot of energy, a lot of time. Hmm. Hmm. I almost wonder if you had the one specific piece here, the calcification glyph. Maybe you could make more use of it that way. But I don't think so. This and this. That would slide perfectly there. And gets back to a solution. With just the exception of not needing that. But is there any other way to not use these 3 spaces? Because this says we're using an area of 12. 3 plus 4 is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That, like, theoretically should be the minimum necessary. So it is apparently not counting things that you don't actually place an item on, including things that you hover over. But no, it said 16. So this count is just wrong. It's just straight up wrong as far as what it's actually counting. And I think this would just get a little complicated. Yes, I could have this grab, and instead of retract, extend. And then everything else would have to be kind of undone and mirrored. Let's see. Yeah, but this piece then would not be able to reach where it needs to reach. So what I would have to do, I think, is probably not rotate at all, undo what it has done, let go, let this one take over, and rotate it also. And so this whole reset. It'd stop being so much a reset as it would be just dropping the piece, waiting a couple turns, and then picking it back up, and then let's just drag all this code this way. Pivoting like that. That gets you the triple bond, and his next step would have to be to rotate again. At that rotation, you're not really in a good position, and you've swung through this anyway, so you probably then would just pivot again. Let's just go ahead and drag all this code out and get rid of it. Okay. The problem now is, how do you get this to be there first? Because that would be the other step. And I guess what you would probably do in that case is just pick up one, drag, rotate it multiple times, and then unrotate it, and then reset. Which means this has to wait before it can play. Yeah, and by the time this is back to where it needs to be, this probably could have done something different. And I wonder, could you do something like this, potentially? And then potentially put something like this here first. This one, and reset. Yeah, and see, by the time this has reset, this could have grabbed one and put one here and been ready to pivot. Hmm. 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 As soon as this extends, though, you have a problem there. Hmm. 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 Pivot was the wrong way around, but yeah, this is so slow. Okay, so you've created that bond, and so then either you undo it, and then you rotate, let go, rotate, and then pivot again, I guess. Okay, rotate, pick up, and then pivot again. And then extend. Really, yeah, just bending over backwards to use the least amount of square footage. I don't think any of this code is actually going to be used. That's the triple bond. You pivot. At that. Let's see, this guy's still doing things he shouldn't be doing. The problem, though, is when we get to this later step, we need to basically let go again, rotate, grab, push, and then push again. Let go, rotate, grab, extend, extend, and then straight up just reset. That's it. That is the bare minimum amount of space I think you could possibly have in this scenario. Watching it a second time, it doesn't seem like there's a single spot in which it's not going through something. Also, since this doesn't extend, we can get rid of that, and that would reduce the cost. And is there any other way to reduce the cost? Probably, yes. But it probably is not worth the effort to try and figure out how to save the 5 Gs. We have it at 100 Gs. Somebody has gotten it a little bit less. But we have gotten the area down to 12 now. So, cycles. Like, almost certainly, if you were going to do cycles, you would just increase the number of parts. Like, that is pretty much the solution for any of these puzzles if you need to, if you want to reduce the cycles. It's just double the parts, double the steps. It'd be fairly easy to just have 2 of these working in conjunction, or honestly like 6 of these working in conjunction at once. If maybe not 6, maybe you could only get 3 just to physically fit. Cost wise is the real question. Like, I feel like I could come back and reduce cycles on almost any puzzle if necessary, but getting that cost down, yeah. I don't know how you would do that, because if you removed like, you would probably have to just remove this arm completely and then have more code that would grab this and then like extend its arm out and then put it like here instead. That'd be my guess, is you would take this, put this here, put this here. So it would just grab one, do this, put it there, drop it as the first bit of code, and then it would do all the rest of what it's doing. And then when everything would be connected and you were pushing this forward, yeah, I actually don't know how that would work. You're gonna have to be able to get this to work somehow. Maybe something like that? Could you grab this and then put it here? Yes. Could you do the rest of the code and put it here? I think so, without touching this. And then once you have that combination, could you get it so you take it this way and do it that way? I think so. Let's see if we can pull that off, at least in some small steps. Pick this up, rotate here, rotate here. Extend, that was a pivot, not a rotate. These icons are way too close to each other. Way too close to each other. And you can see another great example of the code just getting insanely long. We're not even really doing anything with this. It's just one line of code to save money. Now, at that point, this is where it doesn't need to unturn. And it could just actually rotate back here and here. I don't think this is needed. Alright, we missed something there. Probably needed to drop it. Rotate, drop. And probably need to pick it up again before we try to rotate again. And it's not a rotate, it's a pivot. So maybe we don't actually need to drop. I'm still somewhat enjoying the process of solving these puzzles, but yeah. I can't help but also feel like it's kind of being fairly silly. You know what we could do? We could just rotate again this direction. So, like, do this and then do that. Because it seems like the glyph of saltification won't do its thing unless it ends up in a specific spot. Right, so it needs to be there. There we go. I don't see any way you make this any cheaper. Well, maybe. I got it down to 80. I guess the question would be, is there a way to possibly have this take up just one spinning thing? Like one regular piston arm, fixed length arm. There might be a case for that. I don't know how though, because if we were to set a fixed length arm and then if we were to try to expand everything out, you're not going to be able to grab a spot here and grab a spot there. You can only grab things directly next to each other if you're at one distance. So this would still have to be where it is. Then it would just become a question about, is there some way to have the glyph of bonding? It still definitely feels like you should just be able to connect using this alone. But I could not get that to work. This should be a different color, if that's the case though. Could I get a piece here? And then somehow get it lower? No, could I get a piece here? And then somehow get it lower? I guess yes. We'll have to redo. We would have to redo all the code again. Put one here instead, one here instead, and then remove these 4 lines of code, and then reset. And then everything else after that point is fine to move back. At least to a certain point. And it would be at this pivot that we would just start needing to rotate things backwards. But how do you get it past this gem? You don't. So you can't split the difference, which means the code would have to be written more along this lines. And I'd have to rewrite the entire code at that point. I just don't think it's worth it to bother with that. Yes, I do think there is a way to do this, where you can pick this up, drop it here, then pick this up, and drop it here, then pick this up, and drop it here, and redo all of that. Or you could even maybe do something closer to that. That would be faster rewriting of the code. Get up, rotate to reset. Let's see if that works. So this rotation is probably the part that doesn't need to happen. Okay. See if that is enough. Okay. It's not quite what we wanted. I think maybe you just get rid of that rotation and that's that. Okay. So now that you have it, what do you do with it? You spin it so that it would land here, and then you would spin it So it's gotta go the other way too. Yeah, the danger here is just how much time you're wasting and how much you'd have to maneuver things. Yeah. This reset is not quite to where it needs to be. You need to probably rotate the other direction. Let's try that. So many steps here, and I suppose you could drag steps. But if you did drag steps, you're running a high risk of messing up your code and then not being able to undo it. There is a software called Git that is a revision software, versioning software. Ideally, so now if we were to, from that point, rotate another time, would that work? Ideally, you would like to see something like that, or some simplified version of that, in a game like this. Something that with at least copy and paste and undo. Okay. That will work. Just gotta put this here. And then pivot. And then kind of unpivot. And then we're gonna rotate once after dropping, and then you're gonna pick it up, then you're gonna rotate again, and let's see if that is it. Ooh. Oops. We've got to pivot first. And even pivoting first may not be good. May not be good enough. Yeah, I think this one may have gotten me. I may not be able to really do this without running into yet another problem on top of yet another problem on top of yet another problem. Yeah. If there was just one more bit of room you could have this here, but then there's nowhere to put the solution. You need to be able to put one here, here, here. You need to be able to pick up one, and you need to be able to place one. Yeah, in the effort of saving money, you've spent more time than what it's worth. You could do something like this. So then it would be a matter of, can you pick this up and spin it around and do a 360 on it? So that this piece would be here. Or maybe that doesn't matter because you could just rotate it. Do think there is probably a way that that would work. But I don't, you'd have to be very careful again. It would be somewhere at this point. You would have to pivot this here and then try and drop and then grab this one instead. Like, don't unpivot that. Instead, pivot that, grab that. And then probably rotate. And one thing this is highlighting, I think, more than anything, is the fact that if you try to make just one change, there's a high chance that you're going to spend a lot of time debugging or checking that one change over and over again. But if you made multiple changes, then there's a high chance that you'll make some mistake and not be able to identify where the mistake was. Okay. Before this rotation, there needs to be another pivot. And then that means this needs to be here, I think. And once again, functions would be very nice, because next time we run into a puzzle that requires this triple bond, it's probably going to be the nearly the exact same code, if not exactly the same code. And yet you can't copy code from one point to another, and even if you could copy the code, you're still not making a function or a header library, which is code that is a collection of functions to be used in multiple programs. Right, the pivot's in the wrong directions. So we'll change that. Change that. We may not need another pivot, and we need to turn it the other direction. And I think we need to change the output so that it's 180 of what it is. But we've got it. Just the absolute cheapest way, using quite a lot of space and just empty open space to solve the puzzle because of that reason. And what's going to be infuriating is, at a cost of 60 gold, if this is not the lowest score in histogram, then we have to just assume that there's cheating going on. Because, yeah, there's no way I could have made that any cheaper. No way that I would even bother to even try. And you get into that weirdness with, like, here, where it seems like there is some way to solve this in less than 25 steps or cycles. And yeah, I could see that, because if you tripled your code, if you just copy and pasted everything on my best experience of 75, that would get directly down to 25, which might be the minimum. Alright. So we got the smallest amount of area, smallest amount of cost, and I could make something like this to try and triple up everything. Tripling it would be kind of hard, but not super hard. It would just be very time wasting. So, storyline goes there: a file of fire, able to be thrown by anyone, even those with no training. I can't imagine the captain enjoying that thought. Oh no, he absolutely hates the idea. Then why pursue it? Shouldn't we take every measure possible to ensure our victory? See, this is going to be funny if Anataeus actually burns down the entire house on accident because of this and gets kicked out. Are you sure that this improves our chances? I don't know, maybe not. I feel like I have to try everything. You're very enthusiastic, at least. And that is very much in line with the idea of a programmer wanting to do something regardless of whether or not you should do something, or not being certain whether you should do something. So we have another message here. Terrace Colvane, master of the House Colvane, would like to know that he will be pursuing this campaign until your unconditional surrender is received. For years, House Colvane has watched House Van Tassen reap the benefits of its standing without justly earning it, and Master Colvane, in his wisdom, has decided this arrogance has gone on long enough. Light your beacon green to signal your surrender, then we will negotiate. Varen Raveri, head alchemist, House Colvane. Funny that the head alchemist would write this. Alright, and we've got two more things. I'm going to pause this recording and take a little bit of a break, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So, it is true war. I could see a couple of different scenarios here. Either the war goes on for the rest of the chapters, and then we win. We lose the war fairly quickly, and I end up working for House Colvane instead. We win the war with House Colvane, and that leads to a further conflict and empire building, and all of a sudden I'm the head alchemist of the first king of this world, instead of separate houses controlling things, which that would be what I assume is going on right here, that there isn't an actual king keeping the houses in order, in check. Or we lose fairly quickly, and then I start working for House Colvane. it does give a singular purpose for the remaining alchemy things we build. It's just going to be weapons, 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 and get away from like hair gel and ridiculous items like that. But the story may get a little too linear and a little too boring for my taste. If this does go for the rest of the game. Captain, what are you doing with this ancient armor? Isn't it obvious I must lay down my life in battle? I have to take responsibility for the situation somehow. But that's such an old set. We should get you something more up to date from the armory. No. I must be seen on the streets. I want to look like the heroes of old. The first rocket would be your end. If you insist on this set, at least let me reinforce it with some armor filament. Alright. So now we have repeating products. Some products repeat infinitely and must be constructed as a single chain. Okay. Well then how do you solve that? Like, the tutorial here is not really making a lot of sense. Wow. At the lower resolution, there's not even enough room here to barely squeeze it in. Okay. Alright, well, what would be the cheapest solution here? See, I kind of want to even see that, like, tutorial again. It takes it, it drags one, it takes one, it drags it, and then it pushes it. So, yeah. Is that all that we really need to do? Can we, like, really have this in the way? Alright. Start with this. That. That one. And that one. And sure does feel like you should just have like a ramp where things would always go here instead of a mechanical arm having to pick things up and move them. Alright, well, pretty much everything is the exact same code, just 3 times over. Here, here, and here. And then for number 1, which will make number 3 number 1 for some consistency's sake. I don't know why I'm starting at the bottom and then counting upwards, but that makes more sense to me for some reason. Grab it, rotate it, reset it. You grab it, you rotate the other way, and you reset, and then you grab it, and then you rotate the other way, and then reset. I wish we had more reagents. Okay, well, slightly different experience there. And we'll need another one of these, won't we? Hmm. What if we were to instead use tracks? I mean, this really does feel like this is a good place to potentially have a track. Grab, and then instead of rotate, just move towards the plus. Wait as this repeats, and then at some point you can move to the plus again. See how that works. This is probably not the most efficient way to do this. Because I feel like at that point you're going to end up wasting a step there, nothing's happening, step there, nothing's happening, step there, nothing's happening. At the very least, it would make sense to repeat again. And what this really needs is just a conveyor belt. And this probably won't be that complicated as far as making another one of these. Just offset this, but we can't copy it, so we basically have to just do probably this. That'd be my guess as to how this would play. I may have to just wait way longer now. Yeah, I think I do. I have to wait to probably not as far as that, but somewhere around about there. And this won't be a crush. This won't be a reset. Instead, it will just be going forward on the pluses. And I also have to let go at a specific spot. Let go there. This one. Needs another repeat. I'm a lot closer than it might seem. We won't be resetting. We'll be plusing here. Then I think we have to kind of wait until about there. And at that point, I think probably are plusing more. And there's some optimization I think they could happen here. Why did that not connect? Do we have to drop it, pick it up, and drop it again? No. I'm just being stupid, aren't I? Yes, I once again need the merging to happen. Which, that I don't think really is going to change anything. We've got it. I just think maybe that. See, this one at this point could be moving. Come on. Get the pattern down. There we go. And then I just need like one more. Maybe it is just one more to reset back to where we were. And see, in this case, I don't think having a third arm really like benefits anything. Why is this? Yeah, I think also if we put that here, then we can not use that code. We can just have that start at that spot. But number 2 doesn't want to reset quite into place. Which does just kind of make it feel like we're going to end up having to copy this code Hmm. And see, I think even if you were closer to your starting point, if you were given a reset code here instead of a drop and go forward code, I think you're still going to go backwards on the path. Maybe not. And it, I guess in this case, wants a 6-long chain, not a single process. Cost-wise, that's not the cheapest. Cycles-wise, that's not the most efficient. Area-wise, that's not the smallest. Let's give this a copy and try. What can we do to reduce the area size? Well, I think area-wise, it's fairly obvious what you would have to do. Since, in this case, there's nothing that's overlapping, it would just be a reduction of this much. And cost-wise, it would be a reduction of this much. Yeah. You would have it drop it here, or just wait, actually. You'd have it pick up and just wait until that point. And then instead of dropping it, you would just rotate, and I think pretty much just reset at that point. Meanwhile, and see, this is almost obviously a more likely to happen solution at first. Actually, this doesn't work though, because then you create this long thing that you would then have to unpivot to take up less space, and as you pivoted it, it would take up more space. So yeah, you would just, instead of rotating, go forward one more. Yeah, and almost certainly this would be your cheaper and smaller area solution. Not using a conveyor belt concept. Yep, and that's the smallest amount of area, not the smallest amount of cost. Let's see. How would we reduce the cost on something like this? Well, one of these is 20 plus we add another 15 there, which would bring that to, let's see, or each of these is 5, so another 20 there, so that's 40. Or you could just have 140 here, so you could save 10 by instead having this and getting rid of the track and getting rid of this one and getting rid of this one. So then you would simply grab and retract and then maybe just reset at that point to the starting position. How about grab and retract and drop. And then rotate. And then extract, grab, retract, drop, extract, grab, retract, drop, see. Then you rotate one. Yep. Pick up one. And then you rotate. And then you extract, extend, and then you reset. Then we'll put that here. And we need to be able to rotate this. And it doesn't seem like you can rotate it. Seems like they've not programmed this in any way to be rotatable. Okay, well that might be a bit of a problem, but we'll see. Let's see if I just in my head did the code the way it should be done. Could, I suppose, just do it this way and that still works fine. It's not right. Grab, retract, drop. This should then be extend, grab, retract. Grab, retract. And you do have to drop. When grab it, rotate twice, extend and reset. Go. That should be the cheapest solution there. Because there's no way you're not going to be able to push something with the without the extendable arm. Not really. And even if I was to put in another arm, I think the cost is the same. Yep, that is the cheapest cost for this. So we've gotten the cheapest area, the cheapest cost. So then the only real question would be, can we, for the first time, get the most efficient bit of code? Probably. You simply have everything just kind of ready to go as it happens. So reduce the amount of steps. Grab it slower. Rotate. Reset. Of course, a lot of this code is probably going to get removed. Reset. See, this one just holds it in place. Hold it till you get to this code here. So like pretty much all this code should be unnecessary. But to really increase efficiency, you probably would need another one of these just ready to grab the next one and put it into place. Move this one step faster. Repeat this. And repeat this. And see, even at this point, you need potentially another piece ready to go to grab this. see if that works. It kind of doesn't, because you don't have that push, and the only thing, and so then you would have to have something else ready to go here, just in the name of trying to make something efficient. You'd have to have yet another one ready to grab and push it to the right. Somewhere out about there, I would guess. And arguably, maybe this piece is not even needed. And see how you're just incredibly overcomplicating it now to get to the reduction of cycles down to 67. And if we were to just step through this one step, we need to find out where is the point in which something is not moving. The point of efficiency that we're not running into here would be this. We would need some way to double up. And see, I don't even know how you really would do that, because you only have one source of mercury. We are grabbing that mercury as possible, so you have that limiting factor. It's that step here. It's not this. Something happens here, something happens here, something happens here, something happens here, something happens there. There's a reset at that point. But that's fine, because you need that. I think you need that. But this next step, nothing happens. And so perhaps if I was to just do something like this. Like, all this really should do is turn it backwards. So if we had number 2 simply start here, then you could get rid of that and get rid of that. All this should do is drop and drop and turn it backwards. All this one should do is drop and retract. All this should do is extend and then drop and retract. So drop and retract instead. Positive, drop and negative. Extend. That's messed with a lot of things and would definitely affect where the starting points on some of these would need to be. This is getting complicated to say the least. See, in that like very first step, we need something to grab this one and go through that process. Ideally, you'd also want to just get rid of that step. I don't think you can get rid of anything else. So, 1 drops, grabs, and then pulls. And then this one can't grab, I don't think, until later. Yeah, I've just messed this up so much with the code. Yeah, and I'm not willing to spend the time there to try and figure that out. But I could. Yeah, I certainly can claim that, and people can disbelieve me or believe me if they want, but I definitely think I could get to 67 cycles down to probably about 65 cycles or even 50 cycles. I'm not expecting it to get to 50 or below or 40 or 20 or anything like that, though. And you can obviously tell that there's just such a high level of redundancy and complexity that you have to add to your code to make things like happen faster. And I imagine you could just go online to get the solutions if you really wanted them, but there's no achievements for getting like the lowest cycles, lowest cost, and lowest area in one puzzle. I am a little irritated that we haven't run into a single puzzle where you get the best score for each, or that there isn't an elegant solution that is the best score for each. It feels like there should have been a case like that. Let's see, the story continues. There may be hope yet. Perhaps I will single-handedly turn the tide of the battle. I suppose anything is possible. What circumstances a total offensive like this hasn't happened in generations, centuries. And yet, here we are. I swore to defend House Van Tassen for life. I thought that would be a very long time. No matter what happens, you will be remembered, Captain. Yeah, if there was going to be a single solution for anything, it would have been for this puzzle, which I still I've gotten the smallest amount of area down to 7, but the cost and the cost and cycles still not quite there. I think I could probably reduce the cost on this one fairly easily. Looking at it, we could just do this and let's see, that area. The area would be the smallest. The cost would probably be the smallest. But yeah, you would simply grab this and then rotate and extend and then reset and then grab another and then rotate back the other way and rotate back the other way and reset. You would think that the least number of code here would have more of a direct effect on your score. But it kind of doesn't. Just gotta rotate the other direction, I believe twice. Yeah, and at a cost of 60, I don't know what you would do to make this cheaper. Actually, I think I kind of do know what you would do to make this cheaper. Like, this costs 40, this costs 20. If we replaced this with this, we would want this to move here for 35. Grab. Minus. Minus. And just over-rotated one. Yeah, and that's 55 gold. And yet that's still not the cheapest cost. I guess you probably don't need the track, do you? Save 5 there. You grab it, you rotate once, and then you grab it, rotate once, and then you pivot a couple times. Let's see if that works. It does. At this point, I can't imagine it being any cheaper at 40 gold. Like, there's nothing to remove. Every other thing is needed. But it kind of sucks that it has taken this long to get to this point. So, now gotten the cost to the lowest, and we've gotten the area to the lowest. And when in comparison, you see the cost taking 14 area, and then the area that's the smallest being much more compact and involving more expensive item. Yeah, I don't feel like there's an elegant solution there. Where is... Yeah, if you were going to make this more efficient, I think you probably just straight up mirror the code. This one, this one, this one, and this one. I think you at least start with this concept. Maybe there's something more you have to do later. that one, that one, and reset. But it's got to take turns. It can't be done exactly in the same movement. Which that may not be too big of a deal, since we've got this pivot that has to happen anyways on one side. Meanwhile, while that is probably half as many cycles, at 35, it's still not efficient enough, and we can tell it's not efficient enough. We know that there should be one here, and there should be one here ready to pull these forward as soon as these rotate. This way, this way. Retract, retract, and reset. And I promise I'm not gonna try to get the perfect scores in every puzzle, but I really would like to get at least one of the puzzles with perfect scores on all of them, just to prove to myself that it can be done. Alright. Here's the problem with that idea. That we would have to extend it here, which that's not a big deal. Or we could completely eliminate it and have them on this side and have them push. That would have also been acceptable. And I'm still not sure this would be enough optimization. So these resets, I don't think need to happen. Let's see. Interesting that they're pivoting the wrong way now. Why are they pivoting the wrong way? Yeah. While this would work, I don't think this saves you as much cycles as you would like, because you run into this problem where you should pretty much just repeat the process here. Yeah, but if you directly repeat the process, it connects. So you'd have to repeat the process there. Nope, still a problem. Yeah. This like speeds up that first process. Fine. But it almost feels like at this point there should have been a third thing ready to be made. And I guess at a certain level that might work. Like you may just have enough time to make another and make another. That might be what really needs to happen here, is instead of trying to balance it out on the left side, maybe you should just balance it out on the right side. Just yeah, let's just start all over again. Get rid of as much as possible. See, that can only go that far. But nothing really stops you from having potentially two offsets like that. Ready to go. And see, I wish you could tie the brains together on the code so you could just write one code and collapse it and say this thing next to the other thing is going to do the exact same thing anyway, so you don't need to worry about that, or I shouldn't have to write the code in such a way that I'm just repeating things. Hmm. Let's see. Yeah, we're spending too much time on this. And at this low resolution, you can barely enough room to show the. Let's see, how did that happen? Retract, 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 extend. 1, 2, and 3 and 4 should all extend. Yeah, I'm messing up here. That should mostly work. It is just now a matter of, in the same step, having one grab, and now we have the retracts. And then we should be able to, I think, stagger this one like that. Nope, it's not just one retract though. In this case, it's 2 retracts. Got it. And that is a cycle of 20. Let's go back. That ended so fast. Is there any way to add more efficiency to this? I don't think so. Like, it kind of feels like maybe if you could get an extendable arm to do a 3rd row, but you can't. Like, you can't do that. Like, this extendable arm can only go this far, so I can't add one behind there to do a 3rd row. Plus, if I was to just have it swing and grab a piece and grab it, I still don't think this would be back, or this one would be back to grab it in time. So we, by the limitations of the math of it, there is what looks like slight pauses, but I don't think there's... Well, actually, there might very well be a slightly faster way, but it's not being shown on the histogram. Because I kind of feel like if we, at one point, had one here and one here, and then You had one here. And then one here. Does feel like there might be a step. Here. Where it's resetting. Or you could have grabbed one and moved. Plus, reset. Grab, plus, reset. Maybe you just don't take it the whole way. Click here. Get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. Do that. Do that. See, weirdly that says that's still 20 cycles. I wonder if maybe there is just a straight up hard limitation here. Because 1 cycle, 2 cycles, 3 cycles, 4 cycles. And then this 5th cycle, it looks like more things possibly could be moving in this 5th cycle. Particularly number 6 could be moving in this 5th cycle. And it kind of does move in the 5th cycle. But then you have in the 7th cycle kind of nothing going on. So would there have been a point where we could have grabbed one? I guess not. It really seems like that there is just too much going on that you would just step on the toes of something else. Alright, so for my own sanity's sake, we have finally, with the very first, scored puzzle, gotten the lowest score. It's weird that they don't just list all of your scores here, but if you save the save file, you can see them. We've got a very expensive score here that is not marked on the histogram, but we've gotten the lowest cost at 40 gold. We've gotten the best number of cycles at 20, which seems to be the limit, and the lowest number of area at 7. So we've done everything. And yeah, I don't think there's really a lot of justification saying that I would want to go back and try and do that with any of these other puzzles, because they're not particularly that unique, and it is still very much not the kind of programming that I particularly enjoy in general. It's a fine machine controlled language concept, but it's not high efficiency more mental programming. Weirdly, though, it's not also dumbed down, so this really wouldn't be a game I would recommend to kids to learn programming, because I think you'd be very, very confused going into even a C++ class or a Python class, or even HTML class after playing Opus Magnum. Even learning Scratch after playing Opus Magnum, I don't feel like you really would feel like it's the same kind of programming. This is the kind of game I'd only really recommend to people in a special shop class that has like a CNC machine and is doing pathing for the cuts and things like that. But most of that is kind of automated too. So I don't know if you really do a lot of just standard level programming. Like, once again, this feels like a program and a game designed for kids in China who maybe are destined to be a machine operator in a production factory more than anything else. And otherwise it just stands alone as its own attempt at a game, and as its own attempt at a game, it's kind of dull. Yeah, and the story's fine. I'm not gonna really even bother to mention it. We're gonna make a courage potion and move the story forward, and then we'll get to chapter 3. And we did get shown one new item, one new element that only complicated the solutions more, whereas I was hoping for something that would simplify the code, because we really are just hitting the absolute maximum. Like, sure, I lowered the resolution, but if I was to come over here and reset the resolution to 1080p and then look at this, even at this point you really only have a little bit of a buffer to put in your build, which pretty much tells you that maybe there will be a build at some point that is 3 or 4 times as wide as this, but you're probably not going to get one that's much taller than this. And if we look at the filament solution, which one were you looking for? Most efficiency? No, not that one. Let's see what this original one was. Nope, not that one either, with the conveyor belt. The concept of a conveyor belt still not really being played. Yep. I must have deleted the one with the particularly long amount of code. But here you have a legitimate sequence going, taking up half of the screen at even 1080p, and there's only 7 rows that you get regardless. So these puzzles have kind of run out of space. They're gonna have to max out. Either that, or this is a game that is specifically designed to play on something higher than 1080p, and yeah, I don't think I could really abide that or be interested in that. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.